I'm giving my speech over my soon-to-be new home, 29 Palms, California. I've been there 3 times visiting my husband, and I've noticed some unique things about this tiny old town. Every time I went there, I stayed at a little hotel on base called the Sleepy Tortoise. In fact, the desert tortoise is one of the most endangered species list, and if you kill one, you could go to jail. My husband Aaron told me this story once, that his unit was in the field and doing training, and they happened to come across a desert tortoise. And his gunny sergeant told them to stop and don't move a muscle. So Aaron said they sat there and didn't move for possibly an hour, just waiting for this tiny little turtle to pass. He knew that the gunny sergeant was just pulling their legs, but I can just picture a bunch of intimidating Marines with big guns just waiting for the little turtle to go happily on its way. As you're driving to the town of 29, it looks mostly like a big sandy dump. Most of the Marines there talk about the area and say it used to be ran by the Army, but the Army deemed it unlivable and closed down the area. A few years later, they reopened the base, but not as a Marine base, not as an Army base, but as a Marine base. 29 Palms is 1.5 hours from Palm Springs, 2.5 to 3 hours from Las Vegas, and an hour from Los Angeles. It is pretty cool that it is close to a lot of really fun vacation spots. A few miles in between 29 Palms and Las Vegas is a desert that they filmed the horror movie called The Hills Have Eyes, which does not particularly thrill me because I'm a sucker for scary movies and seem to believe that they are all real. But just outside of 29 Palms is a town called Joshua Tree. Like the name, there are tons of Joshua trees, which are hardly trees, more like cactuses, all around the area. It is said that they are rare and only found in this area of California and in Israel. As you enter into the small town just outside of the base, all the buildings are old and really destroyed looking. But if you look beyond that, most of the buildings there have murals of all sorts of things like war battles and dairy cows and nice hilly scenery. On this main strip of the town, there's an order of businesses that go down the road. Barbershop, tattoo parlor, and so on. I imagine this is to attract all the Marines that make up 90% of their businesses. I'd have to say my most favorite thing about the area is the road going to the base. There's a great big chain link fence that is almost always covered with welcome home signs from families to the Marines who are just getting home from deployment. When the Marines get back, they are transported on a bus, and when the driver gets close to the fence, he slows down so all of them can see their signs. The fence is always so colorful and full of life with heartfelt, creative signs. You can always tell the families are ecstatic to have the Marines back safe and sound. I cannot wait to make one of my own in January. As you enter into the base, there is a big pretty lake to the left, but don't get your hopes up. It's a sewage lake. They call it Lake Bandini. Sometimes when the wind is blowing just right, all over the base you can smell that wonderful lake. The good thing about the base is that they have a lot of parks and fields that you can bring your family to, and plenty of pools to shake off the over 100-degree weather in the summer. There are many recreational things to do around this area too. One of them I am looking forward to is the drive-in theater just outside of the base. Even though the movie selection is a little behind the rest of the world, I find it very soothing and romantic to kick back and relax watching the big screen and enjoying the night. There are many unique things about my new home, but I am more than excited to be able to call it home.